I'm Brendon Clark and this is Horsemanship to Performance. Just got a little tip, I guess you would say, today for you guys. Probably one of the harder manoeuvres to get your horse to do is a lead change. A lot of us, you know, that might want to go to a local show or even barrel racing or doing all different types of things like this. You might want to maybe change leads one day in a pattern, like in a reining pattern or a rein cow horse pattern like I tend to compete in. We have to be able to change leads. So we, you know, do our circles and then we come across the middle and have to be able to change lead in a certain spot instantly. And what a lead change is when your horse is loping around, just say on a left lead. So his front left would be in the lead, he's loping around on the left lead, and then you come across the middle and then you change without hesitation, change to your right lead. So I'm going to show you a little tip today, a little exercise that I like to use to get that started, to be able to you know, start moving my horse's rib cage around. This is a 2-year-old colt Taz. It's had about probably 3 months riding, somewhere around 60 or so rides. He's coming along pretty nice. He's always been pretty easy to move around, but he does have a little bit of, you know, a little bit of sticky spots, a little stiffness. So basically the first thing I want you to be able to do is be able to pull your horse's head around, put your leg back behind the cinch, or if you don't have a cinch, that's fine, but back here, just a little further away from your neutral position. So I'm going to put my leg back and I'm going to ask him to move his hind end around his front end. And as you can see, I don't have to use much force to be able to do it. I'm going to do the same thing on the right side, put my leg back, ask him to move around. He moves around pretty softly, barely even got leg on him. If he doesn't move, I just put a little bit of spur in him, on my case. And then once I can do that, I'm going to move along to the fence. And this is the reason I move to the fence is because it takes out one of the equations, and that's your horse moving forward. So the fence is basically, we use the fence as a barrier. So all I'm going to do is start with my horse right next to the fence. I like to have almost a horse's neck width away from the fence. It doesn't matter how far it is. The further you're away, the further horse can move forward. So all I'm going to do is just walk down the fence. I'm going to reach down with my left hand and grab hold of my left rein lightly. I'm going to tilt his nose in to the fence and I'm going to move his hind end away till he is square. And as you can see, Taz is not very square right now. So I'm going to ask him to move over a little bit more just to overemphasize it. So I'm going to start and go back the same way. I'm going to walk down about another 5 feet. I'm going to tilt his nose into the fence. I'm going to put my leg back and ask him to move his hind end across to his right, my right. I'm going to just keep continually doing this, and I don't care whether he only goes a little bit. I'm just going to stay with him. Just for instance, I've changed to the right hand side now. I would recommend doing one side at a time, just because you can get one side really good and then you can go get your other side. It seems to me like it gets a little bit easier. So in this case, I'm going to tilt his nose to the right and move his hind end around to the left. So what I'm doing is basically gaining control of his hind end. So then after I get that good, now I do not recommend going to the next step, which I'm about to show you, until you have this part really good. Like I can walk down here on Taz, I can just tilt his nose in, and look, I can keep my leg off him, but he knows that what I've done, because I've done so much of it. If you've got an arena, you can use your arena. If you've got a fence, you can use a fence, a building, anything like that. The only reason I like to use a fence is because, or a building or anything as a barrier, is because your horse can't go forward. So if he can't go forward, you don't have to worry about pulling on your reins, because this is not about pulling on 2 reins. So then the next step, after I get that good, I'm going to come around. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to show you on this right hand side because we're closest to the camera, but I'm going to move my leg from this position, asking him to move his hind end around back a little bit further forward, which would control his rib cage. So I'm going to come across up the fence like this. I'm going to put my leg back, ask him to move, and while he's still got momentum, I'm going to move my leg a little bit further and ask him to take one step. That's all I'm asking him to do. I'm going to let him rest there for the sake of filming this, I'm going to go quicker than what I usually would, but I would let him rest. I'm going to ask him to move his hind end across. When it gets even, I'm going to move forward and ask him to side pass. So I'm going to go back down the fence the opposite way now because I feel like I have it good, so I can do this. I'm going to tilt his nose in, a little bit of sticky spot there. I'm going to tilt his nose in, get his hind end to move across while he's still got momentum. I'm going to move my leg forward and ask him to take 2 steps. And then after I get 2 steps, so on and so on and so on, I'm going to get 2 steps, 3 steps, but I'll stay with 1 step for a long time, get 1 step, and then I'll let him sit there, and then I'll ask him to move off and do the same thing. So eventually, I'm going to stand square with the camera right now, and eventually, once you get this really good, you shouldn't have any problem to be able to put your leg on him and ask your horse to side pass. Like this horse right here, I could have this horse side passing almost as good as this on about his 15th ride. It was a little bit better than a lot of horses, but I mean, I wasn't going to rush it. But as you can see, that's all that a lead change is. So hopefully that tip helps with your side passing or you know, getting your lead changes and stuff like that. It's a very important part of getting your horse's getting control of your horse's body. Whether you want to start a spin or whether you want to open a gate, the side pass or the body control really comes into it. So hopefully that helps, and go practice it and let us know how it goes.